Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe Podcast. And it's been a while, but we're hanging in there. And I think we're having withdrawals. So we decided to just have a quick podcast to talk about random shit. How are you doing, Gugabe? How's quarantine life going?
Yeah, not too bad. Prepare for an hour of our opinions with no real rhyme or reason. Should be fun.
Yeah, I think the plan is for the listeners, we're just going to go on best fight odds and kind of randomly talk about some fights we see interesting. We have no plan. So this could be a shit show, but we'll kind of see where it goes, and we can start with the Khabib and Ferguson card. But before we get there, Cage Warriors. The uh, I didn't tape. I mean, obviously, I know their games, Fabinski and Stewart. I didn't tape before the fight because I kind of just like didn't have interest in betting it. But I like Fabinski, and he like rightfully won and definitely was the value side and kind of dominated. But Stewart kind of made it harder on himself. I feel like um,
Yeah,
just like the way he would jump guillotines and initiate grappling in round three. But I feel like it was the leg lacing of Fabinski that didn't allow Stewart's get ups to work. But what do you think about the fight?
I played a little bit of Stewart KO at plus 200. The way I saw it was like I just didn't see any way Stewart qualified as a minus 250 favourite unless he essentially knocked Babinski out or hurt him badly like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
Like I just didn't feel like Stewart was not going to win that without either knocking Babinski out or at least making it a really high possibility.
yeah,
So getting plus 200 on KO when Moneyline was minus 250 was insane in my book. Like
yeah,
pre-fight, I would have priced KO like plus 100.
yeah. It was that cut was pretty bad. I mean, I guess there was
Yeah,
a lot of blood, but like it was
the
yeah. I
placement
mean,
was okay though.
Babinski pretty much owned outside of that, but even like the beginning of round three, I feel like anytime Stewart like actually did the Stewart win condition, he would land some big shots, and then he would just kind of like shoot a double leg on Fabinski, and then it just allowed Fabinski to kind of scramble back up and just start initiating the grappling for no reason, you know?
Yeah, just a very silly fight all around.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Fabinski did a good job though, but the rest of the card was kind of meh, you know. But I had like a juice 2 leg parlay, but that's pretty much it. I don't think we really need to talk about the rest of that card.
Pretty
But
much.
all right, let's talk about it. I have been taping this and a little. I don't know if this event. It sounds like Dana White just said the Khabib Ferguson card.
Yeah, that's my understanding too.
They have a venue, right?
He said he has a menu for Khabib vs Ferguson. He hasn't said where it is.
Yeah, and he said there's a full card, but I wonder if like it kind of
It's a
puts us in
random.
a tough spot. Like, is the rest of the
If they
card the
somehow
same?
did like an all-star fight card with the last 3 cards, that'd
Yeah.
be I don't think that'd be plausible. I don't think that's plausible, but like if they somehow managed to make that happen, that'd be big. I'd be a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this card could get super interesting because I feel like people will be quick to fight, you know, because
Yeah,
it's like the opportunity that there's like certainty on what events are going to happen and whatnot, and then all the other fights that got canceled, if they're especially the international guys, you know, I feel like could have a shot to be on this card, but who the fuck knows? Uh, I don't know. I guess they'll start announcing it in the coming week or two. I have no idea because it's a few weeks away.
yeah, it could be a mess. Like, yeah, just I have no faith in anything at this point.
Yeah, it's a shit show, but I mean, we can talk about a few of the fights that are just scheduled, and then maybe we'll talk about a few more um,
Yeah.
in the future and call it a day. But we can start with Khabib and Tony, and I'm sure we can revisit it later. But what do you think?
Khabib should stylistically beat this. Ferguson might make it interesting in the later rounds. Khabib's cardio looked better against Poirier than I was expecting it to. I was expecting Khabib to slow down a bit because I feel like he has a little bit lately, but he didn't against Poirier, and against Poirier there was like 40 degrees in there, so I think the cardio aspects, or I think it's even more impressive as a cardio display.
Yeah,
So Yeah, I think Ferguson might pick up like the last round or something. I do hope Ferguson somehow pulls it off because I think it'd be a lot more fun. I just like emotional Khabib. I just Khabib wins just really fun fights,
Yeah.
just by the inherent nature of how he fights.
You know, I was going through the I like detail taped it. Like I've gone back. Oh no, I've kind of gone. There's been times where I thought Tony had like a really good chance to win, you know, and then the more I taped, I kind of think Khabib's gonna smash him. But because really the only two times Tony's gone against guys who went in with the game plan of wrestling him was Kevin Lee and Danny Castillo, and they both took like multiple rounds, you know? And it, the kind of thing like people are very, very passionate about this fight, and I'm not trying to piss anyone off. I like Tony honestly more than Khabib as a fan, you know? But the thing I was seeing was like Tony's if he starts like throwing up guard subs, he allows a lot of passes and dominant positions in those two fights against Lee and Castillo. Like they both got a pass almost every single time they got a takedown and a dominant position. And Khabib's one of the most dominant passers in the sport. And I just feel like I don't think he can catch Khabib in a sub personally. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's high percentage. And the more I was looking at his like sub setups, I feel like they were just against a lot of like gassed fighters, you know, like Lando Venata, um, Edson Barboza, Anthony Pettis, uh, or I mean that was a corner stoppage, but Kevin Lee, like a lot of guys who kind of don't have the like the durability, grappling, and submission defense, if that makes sense. And I was kind of looking, and I wasn't as impressed with his subs the more I watched them. Like I felt like a lot of them were happening just kind of because he was going against collapsing fighters. And then whenever I was watching that Castillo fight, I just don't think he's going to catch Khabib, and he just ends up on his back so much. And I feel like I think Khabib's going to like get some very, very dominant positions on the mat, and I think he's going to kind of maul him personally. And I don't know. I wasn't as impressed with Ferguson's grappling the more I watched, and I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just saying I don't think it's like some people think it's almost like legendary and that it's the answer against Khabib, but I don't see it that way. Sorry that I ranted there, but that was kind of what I was watching.
Yeah, I just think the tempo I think could be significant. Like I just Khabib most likely wins a round or two dominantly, but Ferguson does have incredible tempo, and like that's what I'm kind of
True.
hoping for. 'Cause I
Yeah.
just, as a fan, I don't want to see a Khabib shutout.
Yeah.
And like, I respect Khabib's craft. I'm not saying he's a bad. I'm not saying he's boring, but like, I enjoy great fighters which have a bit more back and forth, I guess.
Yeah.
And while I feel like Khabib, I just the only thing I think the only way you're ever going to get like an exciting Khabib fight is going to be if he decides to pull an Usman versus Covington sort of situation where he just randomly decides it's the day I am swinging haymakers at the boys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like I
like
could see Khabib doing that at some point for just no good reason.
I could see I think the early portions of this fight are going to be very dominant for Khabib, you
Yeah,
know, and then and that's the thing about playing Ferguson. It's like I feel like there's no point playing him because I don't think he's going to win the first round or two, you know,
yeah. You'll be able
and
to get plus 800 easy.
yeah, and you'll kind of maybe be able to see if like that pivot's coming, but
Yeah,
I do think generally like relying on someone winning via the other guy gassing isn't always like the best thing to do. You know, like
yeah,
there's times in five rounders where it's like very very clear where that dynamic like it's kind of predictable. But I think Khabib's gas tank is a lot better than people think. Like um, even versus like Ally Quinta and Poirier, like he looked very very good. You know,
yeah,
throughout the fight, and I don't know, like I think I kind of wanted I think my heart kind of wants Ferguson to win, but the more I watched it, I just think I don't like. I just really do not like Ferguson's guard retention at all. He
Yeah,
like, the more I watch and it's because he's exciting and high risk, so he's going for a lot of offense, and he'll, like, go for arm bars and triangles, but I just don't think that's a good idea versus Khabib. Um, and I feel like Khabib doesn't get at whenever you play a guard game and allow him to start passing and don't work your way up to your feet, I feel like that's when he gets less tired too. And yeah, I think Khabib's gonna kinda maul him the more I watch, but I'll be cheering for Tony for sure.
yeah. I do think Ferguson will keep moving, even if he gives up passes.
Yeah, yeah. He'll
Yeah,
definitely, he definitely presents greater threats than pretty much anyone else Khabib's fought for sure,
yeah,
'cause just because I do love his gas tank, I mean, his tempo is
yeah,
incredible, so that really could be something that pans
yeah,
out later in the fight, but I still think he kind of I think he's really gonna get behind on the cards early, and I almost think he's gonna have to get a finish, you know?
yeah,
Like, I think it will just be tough for him to get 3 rounds against Khabib, but, I mean, it's
yeah.
possible.
Agreed. But, yeah, that's my idea. I just can't see Ferguson realistically winning the decision. Because I
Yeah,
think
and
also if Ferguson gets on top, I feel like the moment Ferguson gets on top, Khabib will just lose from that moment onwards. Like unless there's some crazy blood optics or something, I just can't. I just think if the moment Ferguson hits the pivot, it will just become his fight from that point onwards. Because I don't think Khabib doesn't really have the depth of game to pull it back if he gets tired.
yeah,
So like I feel like it's good. Yeah, Ferguson. Even if Ferguson hits the pivot at 7 minutes, I think he finishes Khabib.
yeah.
Whenever, yeah, you'll be able to see the pivot. Put it that way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
no, no,
Ferguson
I see.
probably, yeah, the over under on the pivot will probably be like 17 minutes.
I I think, the main thing I noticed when taping this, and I think I said it in my kind of intro rant, but the more I really watched and it just kinda kept coming back to me, is I really just don't think we've seen Ferguson fight, like, persistent grapplers except Castillo and Lee, and they're not nearly as good at it, And
Yeah,
he really struggled in both of those fights, and every other fight hasn't really been that, Cerrone wasn't that, Pettis wasn't that, RDA wasn't that, that was, all striking, Venata wasn't that, Edson wasn't that, Thompson, not really, Thompson's not, a super dominant wrestler at all, and it's
yeah,
just that's the kind of the main thing that I really just noticed, and I don't like some of the stuff Ferguson does off his guard because, I mean, I think it can work on gas fighters like Lee and Venata and things like that, but I do not, I think he's going to get put in some bad spots, but
yeah.
I do hope
True.
he finishes them. That would be very cool.
Yeah, like my ideal situation here would be 4th, 5th round, Ferguson KO sort of deal. As a fan, that's what I want to say.
For
But
sure.
I do
That would
think
be awesome.
my feeling how the fight will actually go. I'm thinking 49-45 Khabib sort of deal.
Same. I actually think, and I know people that, really defend Ferguson's, jiu-jitsu game. I think Khabib's gonna sub him personally. I
I
think
don't
he's
like Khabib's sub game that much personally. Him against Michael Johnson just kind of. I feel like Khabib kind of relies on the other guy giving up, kind of.
a little bit. Yeah, no, I could see that. I
Yeah,
guess the reason I'm saying that, maybe not even a sub, it's just I see bad spots for Ferguson, so I'm just gonna kinda guess a finish just because I see a lot of holes in his guard retention, and Khabib's an incredible passer. You can
yeah,
people can say what they want about Khabib, as far as, finishing and, style and stuff, but his passing ability is incredible. It just is, you know? Um,
Let me just dig up props. I know I can get full props over here. What's Khabib? I'd probably play Khabib KO or KO slash decision at plus 100. That's the price over here.
yeah, I just
I'd
I
almost be
really
happy
he's
playing
gonna
not
get a lot of
Khabib sub.
passes. I think he's gonna get at least 5, 6 passes in this fight over 5 rounds for sure.
I
Um,
just I just think he's more like to KO. I just think he's more like to TKO than sub Ferguson. I've seen enough. Khabib sort of sub games always kind of. I've always been kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, like it might
It's
not
very
happen.
sort of strength centric. Even though like Khabib KO's plus 650 and Khabib subs plus 2200.
And, like, honestly, I think it's a little bit of a guessing game because we've never really seen like, the main subs that Khabib does are kinda like neck crank, rear naked chokes, and I
Yeah.
think I
Kimura
feel like he's
against
done a Kimura before, I can't remember.
Michael Johnson, yeah, Kimura.
Yeah, but
That was
sometimes
that's
you need
the
to see someone in that position to even know how good they are defending it, you know?
that's the fight. The Michael Johnson fights once it kind of makes me hesitant to play Khabib sub.
Yeah,
Khabib just looked like had difficulty subbing Michael Johnson, and
yeah, and
historically, who
Michael
has had
Johnson just
difficulty
fished
subbing
off his
Michael
back.
Johnson?
Yeah, for sure.
Michael Johnson's taps out to. If you've tapped on Michael Johnson, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've rolled with Michael Johnson a lot.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna. I do like Michael Johnson as a fighter, but he's historically been quite easy to tap.
Yeah.
He made
He
Darren Elkins look like Craig Jones.
he grew up wrestling in St. Louis at Marquette High School, and he started wrestling when he was in high school, and he's got a good, like, blast double-leg
Yeah.
defense, you know? Like, he can stop that initial shot, and it's hard to kinda get him down, but once he's on the mat, he's not very good, you know?
It wasn't bad.
Remember Andre Feely, like, dominated him there at times
Yeah.
too? Yeah.
I just remember peak Michael Johnson, like at the Glyson T-Bow to my Edson Barbosa sort of a run. He
Oh,
looked like
yeah,
he was
he
putting
was
it
on,
all
like, a
together.
title run at one point.
Yeah, he almost made it there. Like if he'd taken Dariush one, he probably would have got the title. And he loses to the fucking Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Johnson's disappointing career is another matter.
Yeah.
Oh, he lost his TV Ray. I completely forgotten about that. Like he had that Josh Emmett had that miracle comeback knockout against him.
Yeah.
Darren Elkins had that miracle comeback sub against him. Getting Gagey, Gagey probably. I feel like that fight's 50-50.
Yeah, it was
Like
kinda
Gagey has
just
to go
like it
through
was
hell
kind of
to win.
that was as rock'em sock'em as it gets, you know?
Yeah, like just weird career. So discuss, I guess, Jacare Hall if we're going by best fight odds.
Do we even wanna talk about this?
I wouldn't. Assuming this fight actually happens, I don't actually mind Hall plus 125 or plus 130. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
Hall
Yeah.
fight's silly, but just like I don't trust Jacare to actually wrestle at this point. Like Jacare against Jan threw 50 strikes in 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So he threw like one strike every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And like I'll take Uriah Hall over a man who's only throwing one strike every 30 seconds. Like Uriah Hall will throw one every 25 seconds, but power differential, and I don't really trust Jacare to actually be able to wrestle.
It's kinda one of those things where, like, I'm like, yeah, I think Hall's the yeah, this fight reminds me, like, not stylistically, but it reminds me of Aldo Moraes, where I was like, yeah, I think Aldo, like, dog is the value side, but it's like both guys kind of, like, won't do shit, so I don't really feel like playing it either, you know? So,
Yeah, I agree.
that's kind of the way I see it.
Personally, I just personally flip the line. Like I think I'd have Hall around minus 150 and Jacare around plus 130. But yeah, both guys are very capable of giving up a stupid split decision. But
Yeah.
I just think Hall's win condition just needs a bit less. Yeah, I think Jacare's win condition needs a bit more effort to happen.
Yeah, I mean, neither guy lands, like, a ton of volume, and it's just I feel like the fight will just come down on a few who lands the harder exchanges, you know? Like, what they're both gonna land, like, no more than 50 strikes each, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be like who lands a few more exchanges. I do think, like, Hall showed enough competence in his grappling against even though that fight was really weird, I lost in that fight, Antonio Carlos
ICJ.
Jr. and him.
Yeah,
But,
Scott. Didn't he like exploded this guy? They exploded ACJ's head in like the one exchange he had in that fight.
yeah,
First round.
it was really weird, and then, it was kinda like he hurt him in over the course of, like that spread out over 2 rounds, but, like, every other minute kinda ACJ won, you know?
Yeah, and the blood optics were fucking awful from memory.
Yeah, for sure,
Did
for
his
sure.
nose like explode? I remember the blood optics being awful. And, like, yeah, I remember there being an argument for winning the fight, but like Hall had like a minute across 2 rounds of success,
Yep,
and got massive blood optics for that minute of success.
pretty much, that's what it was.
Yeah, so it happens.
Yeah.
Andrade versus Rose rematch. Don't like 3-rounder.
Yeah.
If Andrade ends up being like plus 200, I might take a swing all the same.
Agreed. Agreed.
But like, yeah, again, like we both said for the first fight, we have full confidence Andrade wins round 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And
But by
yeah,
a
and I
lot
think
too.
now it's close to the split decision kind of dynamic.
Yeah, I think this is going to be close.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think this fight will kind of come down to tempo. Like what
Yeah.
as far because the thing about Rose, you can say, uh, I don't know. There was a big argument on this at the time, but I played Andrade, and the pace rose kind of. I know she hurt a lot or Andrade a lot early in that first round, but the pace she set, there was just no way. Like that was like more strikes that she's landed in any fight in her career in like 7 minutes,
Yeah.
you know? And there's no way like she was going to be in good shape after that. Like even in round three, like if they fight a 3 rounder and she starts out like that, she's going to have a very rough round three, you know? Um,
Yep.
where I feel like if Rose just stays composed, over the course of 3 rounds, like she obviously can beat the fuck out of Andrade. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, I kind of feel like it will. I don't think she can start off that fast again, and be.
Well, even in,
I don't know.
I know there are people who feel very passionately that Rose was going to win that first fight if she didn't get slam KO'd. But I felt like even in that first fight, the sort of 7-minute pivot had hit.
Yeah, like, and if you watch that fight, I would give like I'm calling it like I saw it. Um, I would give Rose a 10-8 in round one, and she was
Yeah.
very close to finishing her. And it easily could have happened. Like I was on Andrade, it easily could have happened where she finished Andrade. Um, but round two, they pretty much landed the like, if you go watch that round, it was getting very competitive,
Yeah.
and they landed a very similar amount of strikes, and even if that didn't knock Rose out, that was still a big slam just in general, and
Yeah.
it was the first time she actually grounded Rose because Rose kept using a Kimura to scramble out, and it was the first time she actually successfully got Rose down, and it showed me that Rose was slowing down because all of a sudden she couldn't stop a takedown anymore. And B, she would have been on her back, like flat on her back. And Andrade is a fucking monster from top position. Like, go watch the Claudia fight. Um, and it probably just mean like Andrade probably would have won that round, like most likely. Like, it's always possible Rose hits a reversal and then wins the rest of the round. It is, but it was most likely
Yeah.
shifting in Andrade's favor.
Yeah. Assuming, let's say, Andrade turns that slam into 90 seconds of top time to close out the round.
That's a
Like, not
round for
shoot.
Andrade.
Yeah. And it would be a huge, and it'd be a huge visual moment.
In
And
Brazil. Yeah.
yeah. And like, so that would have put them like, it would be like 1918. So I think Rose would need to hurt Andrade badly at least once to even sort of to salvage a draw. I do think like round 4 and 5 for Andrade would Andrade would have picked up a 10-8 round 5. Then
Yeah.
again, Rose could have accessed Weili Zhang energies and thrown 400 strikes
Yeah,
on top
it's
of her
possible. But
previous career peak of 130.
but we've seen Rose throughout fights, and that's
Yeah.
not what she does. Like,
I mean, against Joanna, she came back in the 5th. Even that was still that was razor close.
but Joanna isn't like, if that fight
Yeah.
was all at the perimeter, like, no, like Joanna wasn't advancing, where Andrade was walking Rose down like a psychopath, and the only time that's really happened to Rose was Carolina, and
Yeah.
Carolina kind of took over as the fight went.
And then, Andrade probably would have, round 4 and 5 would just been Andrade picking Rose up and slamming her multiple times. Like,
I
remember
think the
Andrade to
spot here.
Gedalia?
What's up?
Andrade versus Gedalia. That was fucking
Oh my
terrifying round 3.
god. Yeah, it was like competitive for a few minutes, and then it was like that was bad. That was like
Yeah, it was.
career altering.
Yeah, you just got more. Like, Andrade once Andrade is coming forward is nuts.
That was probably, like, the most like, I don't know, I'm pretty immune to this shit, you know? Like
Yep.
like, every now and then, you'll kinda cringe at some moments, like, it's pretty brutal
Yeah.
sport, but I'm pretty immune to this, like, that was just I remember, like, feeling uncomfortable during that fight, like, that was a fucking slaughter. Um, but I don't
Sure.
know, like,
It's,
I think the best way to like, if the Andrade line, if she becomes, like, a crazy underdog, like, totally think you can play, but other than that, like, I think live betting it is the way to go because I still think Rose can put her away early, you know?
yeah.
And you can kinda see the tempo of the fight, and the thing is, I live bet Andrade after round 1, she was plus 500, and I was like, "She survived, and she has 4 rounds left," you know?
Yeah.
She was plus 500, I think, after round 1, so I played her on that. So, we'll see. I think it's kinda
Yeah.
live bet or, like I wouldn't play Rose at this price as a favorite. Like, Andrade is still very
Yeah.
dangerous as a round winner, you know?
Yeah, and also it's quite possible we get a similar dynamic where after round one, Andrade is shot out to plus 500 again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. I don't I think Rose should, like, not go nuts early. Like, dude, I mean, she threw a lot of power strikes in that first round.
Yeah, but
Um,
like Andrade kind of presents itself as a target, and you kind of have to do it to stop
true.
Andrade getting up your
Yeah,
ass.
true.
Like unless you're expecting Rose to suddenly become Joanna Jedrzejczyk on the back foot.
Yeah, and which she's not.
Yeah, it's unrealistic to expect somebody to just suddenly dig out that skill set.
Yeah, because Rose is incredible, like, at the perimeter or when she's going forward, but when she's going backwards, it's a totally different game, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like, that fight's and I kind of was hoping they would get matched up against someone else, just because that's an awesome division right now, I feel. Like, I know you don't like women's MMA that much, but I feel like strawweight
Women's strawweight's the strongest division, yeah, by this margin.
I think women's strawweight's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
there's some
it's
decently competitive, and
developed.
even like now Zhang, like the Zhang who fought Joanna, I'm interested in seeing her fight other people.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
if
excited
she,
for the Tatiana Zhang fight. I'm maxing Tatiana.
I mean, yeah, Suarez is the turd in the punch bowl entertainment value, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I just feel like most of the other top level matchups will be sort of swinging matches, while Suarez will just maul people.
I really think we're gonna get Tatiana as an thing, and I'm maxing it. Like, I've taped it ahead of time,
Yeah,
and it's probably like this. It's probably the strongest opinion I have on a fight since, as far as like an underdog, since Usman Woodley.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I see holes in Zhang's grappling for sure, and I do not. Suarez is a different animal. Like I think there's only two girls who can really counter her game, and it's Joanna and Nina.
yeah,
I just think I think Zhang's gonna get lit up. She's gonna
yeah,
get forced into a wrestling match, and it's just not gonna go her way.
yeah. There's a good chance Suarez looks like a minus 500, but
I,
yeah,
I mean, people forget. Like, remember what she did to Esparza? Like,
yep,
Esparza is a better
yep,
grappler than fucking Zhang.
yep. I agree. Yeah, 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, yeah, Suarez embarrassed Sparta on the mat, and
Oh,
nobody else has really ever done that.
yeah, yeah. It's funny because like, I've been a Suarez supporter, and I remember, like, watching like, I thought she was just gonna smash Nina, and then I taped it, and I remember being like, "Fuck, dude, Nina has a shot here," and she kind of, you know, s
Yeah,
she had trouble early, but she was just her get-up game is so good that it just kinda wore Suarez out, and I just don't Zhang does not have that. Like, from the I don't have, like, a huge sample size, but what I was seeing with, like, Tisha Torres, I don't know, she's just gonna be on her back, and I think she's going to I think she's gonna get finished, but,
yeah,
we'll see what happens, but another fight, Cater Stevens, that's a fun fight.
yeah. I feel like Kader not check again. If Stevens actually leg kicks here, I think Kader's in trouble. Kader's got an issue.
Yeah,
But since it's Stevens, it's hard to rely on the leg kick. But also, is Stevens' durability fading a bit? I've just
yeah.
Kader does not deal with leg kicks at all. and his lead leg is so ingrained into his striking style. I don't think he can fix that. Like,
Yeah.
for him to remove his leg kicking weakness, he'd have to completely redesign everything. Expecting a guy that deep into their career and all that to like completely redesign their stance just seems like it's possible, but you're probably not getting it would fundamentally change how his entire game hangs together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those fights where it's kinda like, you run into this betting. It's like if Stevens follows, like, a very good game plan, but, like, there's still, like, a 50-50 chance he doesn't even follow it, you know? Um, so, yeah, like, if Stevens kinda implements the leg kicks, I could see that being an issue, and Stevens is still just, like, tough, like, I mean, he's got, like, a swinging chance too. I do think Cater's, like, punches are a lot straighter though, you know?
Yeah.
And so he'll probably have, like, a pretty big advantage there, but yeah, I, uh, I like both guys. Like, you agree with Cater favorite though, right? I mean, I wouldn't play
Uh,
him.
I wouldn't play minus 250.
Yeah, no, no, I agree.
I think minus 150 is possible. I
Yeah,
think minus 150, sure, because Stevens kind of has some age issues and fight IQ issues, but again, just there's such a massive glaring leg kick weakness.
yeah.
It's just, you could just, I'm not playing minus 250, who could just be like, who is dominant in one phase and could just pretty much, could pretty much just get Melendez.
And it's a striking fight too.
Yeah.
Like
And Stevens hits insanely hard and is very
yeah,
fucking
yeah, this
durable.
is high variance, like, either guy can knock each other out, you know?
Yeah, you could easily see that was sort of Qatar Burgos sort of deal where it just turns on a very small margin.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I just can't see how Kato is ever gonna look minus 250.
Yeah, like, I could see Cater like, I could see Cater, like, running away with it too, you know? Like, I
I
could
could see
see this
him
going.
winning. I could see him
Yeah.
winning 30-27, but minus 250 on the striking match.
No, no, I agree, like, I wouldn't play it, like, that's kinda my point, I could see just a wide range of outcomes. Like, I could see Stevens fucking him up with, throughout 3 rounds with leg kicks, but I could also see Stevens just not following that game plan and having the worst straight punches, and Cater just lighting him up with a jab.
Yeah,
I yeah, like, I just think it's kind of a high variance fight, like, I wouldn't be interested in playing like, if I was to set, like, a true line, I would just put Cater, like, minus 150 to
yeah.
160, like, 60% or something, but it could be more than that, who knows? Um, the
What else we got?
I'm kinda going through a little
Smith Glover.
more.
I find it weird. Gloves a dog there.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of one of those fights where, like, I agree, like, I'm kinda like, "Oh, Glover, plus 150, like, he'll get his grappling," but I'm kinda like, Smith doesn't seem like one to be that's gonna be very easy to finish on the mat, so it'll be 5 rounds of just, like, Smith having an opportunity to hurt Glover, you know?
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of the way I see it. I mean, I don't really have any other thoughts other than that, so I don't think I'm gonna, like, play it, but, like, I understand why people would be attracted to that plus 150 though, but
And
I kind
also, I
of
think,
have a weird feeling about the fight.
I kind of feel like Glover's process to go for finishes on the mat's a bit stronger than a lot of other guys. Even John Jones. John Jones kind of didn't seem to be pushing for a finish that much.
Smith
While
Smith
Glover,
is a pretty good grappler though, as far as just, like, not being able to sub though, right?
yeah. But again, like Ozdemir getting round two against Smith didn't make Smith look like a good grappler. It
True.
meant Smith hit the pure lock that was Smith's sub throw. Um, I just like Glover's process a lot on the mat. He just knows.
I agree, I agree.
Yeah, Glover has a clear idea of what he's going for when he's on the mat.
And it's not like Smith is, like, a crazy good striker either.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, yeah. If it just turns out into a stupid swing match to the fate, and Smith wins off durability and cardio. That wouldn't shock me, but
And, like,
I
precision.
can't see Smith look at Smith minus 190 is a bit iffy, and and it is Anthony Smith, so chances are he'll probably just win by 30-second knockout like he did against Shogun,
Yeah,
and everybody will be depressed because everybody loves Glover.
yeah.
Like
Um,
Glover's one of those guys he should have been UFC champion if he came across a bit earlier.
oh, yeah, like, in that, like, 2006 range, yeah, for sure.
Like I mean, who was if he beats fight
Rampage.
Rashad. Or Rampage, yeah, he beat Rampage. He beat Rashad.
Yeah. He was better
Also,
than those guys when they were in their prime, I think.
yeah, 100%. Like,
Um,
yeah, he literally beat Rampage 2013. He beat Rashad in 2016, which Rashad was fucked by then, but he beat Rampage in
yeah.
2013.
Yeah, they were a little bit out of their primes, but I still don't think those two. It's kind of like an era thing. Like I
Yeah,
don't think those guys' games would do that well in this era, even when they're in their prime. Although one random really awesome win that like no one talks about because the guy who Rashad beat has transferred over like pretty well. Remember when Rashad just beat the fuck out of Phil Davis?
yeah,
I mean, he dominated him. I remember because like Phil, that's not easy to do to Phil
yeah.
Davis. Like not
He just outwrestled him, didn't he? Completely. That was when Phil Davis
yeah.
couldn't strike at all, though.
Like it was early in the career of Phil for sure, but I still like I've never really thought Rashad was that great, you know? He's just like a
Yeah,
low volume wrestle boxer. I mean, he lands 2 strikes per minute,
yeah,
literally 2.14 strikes per minute, and he's like a pretty good wrestler, I guess, you know, like a pretty good
yeah,
wrestler, that's kind of it, but he just, like, dominated Phil Davis, I remember. Like,
yeah. I remember
on
that
the
fight.
mat and stuff, like, he just dominated with top control and everything. I was surprised.
That was the best Big Chow card, wasn't it? I think that was one of the first like live UFC events I bothered watching.
I think it was the 2nd UFC on Fox,
Yeah,
so
it was Bisping. It was Bisping. Chael. It was like three like title. There was like three title eliminators to on top of the card.
yeah, and it was, I think it was that
Was
Weidman
it?
Maya, it was,
Yeah,
like, all wrestling matchups, yeah. It was, like, the first one was Kane well, let's see if my memory's good. I'm thinking out loud, you can check.
yeah.
The
While
first
it
one was
was,
Kane and JDS, it was, like, a minute long, um,
yeah, that was the knockout. That was the fluke knockout one. Well, not fluke
and
knockout, but
and
yeah.
and there was a untelevised co-main event on that first card.
Guida versus Bendo,
Yep, yep, and then
and that was a really good fight, but it didn't get broadcast, which is hilarious because they had like the main event was ended in a minute, and the broadcasters awkwardly talking about it for another 40 minutes.
And the funny thing is I remember on that fight, everyone was like, "Why the fuck isn't Guida and Bendo televised?" Like people it wasn't even
Yep,
like a hindsight thing, like, everyone
yep,
knew that would be a good fight just because that was kinda when they were both at their best too, you know?
yep.
And, it was just a good little fight, but yeah. But anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? Yeah, Glover.
Glover, yeah, Glover being the goat and being unfairly deprived. Because I mean,
Yeah, I
like
love Glover.
Glover's 1 year younger. Glover's like 7 months younger than Rampage. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's an unfair comparison.
yeah,
Like if like Glover had been in the UFC when if he was 30ish, I think he would have beaten Shogun. I think Machida probably would have been a bit difficult for him, just stylistically.
yeah,
Because Glover's never really had any foot speed, and like I could just see Glover just losing a sort of very boring 5 round decision against Machida. Glover
yep.
beats Forrest Griffin. Glover beats Rampage. I think Glover beats Shogun. Take a UFC Shogun.
Yeah, it would probably been, either guy is capable of winning, I think.
Yeah, I'd price Glover like -150, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like, I remember, d do you re so, do you remember this? Like, so I think it was UFC 76.
I think that's before me. Like I only became aware of the sport with like We're Doom vs Fedor.
It was I'm looking it was UFC 76, I'm gonna look it up. It was, I think Shogun's debut against Forrest Griffin. Let me double check. Yep, yeah. Um, so, like, Shogun at the time coming in, like, I don't know if you
Yeah,
tried
it was
or
gigantically
anything.
hyped. Yeah, I'm aware of like Shogun.
Oh, yeah, I mean, so Chuck Liddell had just been knocked out by Rampage, and so he was main eventing this card, and he was fighting Keith Jardine, and he lost a split decision against Keith Jardine, and at this time, even when Rampage won, like, Shogun had already murdered Rampage in Pride in the Grand Prix, um,
Yeah,
like, I think, like, 2 years before, I can't remember exactly, and I remember everyone saying, like, Shogun This was when I was, like, first I was watching MMA at this point, but I wasn't, like, super knowledgeable as far as, like, being able to predict fights, you know? And,
Yeah,
I everyone was saying, like, Shogun was going to murder Griffin and, like he was a monster favorite, and then Griffin just beat the shit out of him. It just he kinda just did probably what a Glover could do. He was getting, like, a lot of takedowns, and he ended up subbing, uh, Shogun. Forrest always had, like, a decent ground game, you know?
yeah.
Um,
Well, Forrest Griffin was huge and had like decent volume and aggression for the time and
yeah,
leg
but
kicks.
his stats are really good. Like, I know
Yeah,
it's kind of a different era, so it's hard to compare to, like, people now, but he always put up a high pace, and he didn't get hit much randomly either, and he was
yeah,
a good grappler. Yeah.
yeah. He stayed buzzy. He came forward and he usually put on decent sort of tempo, and he was fairly durable.
He was like a Neil Magny, uh,
Yeah, pretty
light
much.
heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, and won him a title fight against a very disinterested looking Rampage.
I
I
think
thought,
I pl like, one of the first bets, like, I remember a kid had a Bodog account, you know,
yeah,
at the time, and I remember on that card, I played John Fitch over Diego Sanchez because I was like, "He's just gonna out-wrestle Diego." And,
yeah.
like, Diego had only 1 loss at the time, I think, and Fitch was undefeated, and Diego was, like, the bigger name at that point, so crazy. God, I feel like I'm going in a time machine looking at this card, but alright, sorry for the people. We got a little off topic, but yeah, like,
We
I
have the
think
topic at the moment, so whatever.
yeah, I mean, there's no fucking topics anyway, but, I don't know, what
Chris
other
Weidman
card
versus Manson.
Weidman Weidman Hermanson? I don't even know here.
I'm surprised Hermanson's not a bigger favorite. I just felt Hermanson would be a bigger favorite. Like
Yeah,
I don't mind. I can persuade myself into a Weidman play because like I think Hermanson's grappling is still kind of noodly and not defensively sound. Hermanson's
yeah.
just one of those guys who just does a lot at you. And like he's offensively potent everywhere, but he's also defensively completely shit everywhere. He's like Carlos Condit sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
Like
kind of one of those things yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
and like yeah, I could. Shamatsu just kind of flings himself at you, and I could see Weidman just kind of arm triangling him within like a round. But I could also see Weidman just going, "Oh fuck, this is too hard. I'm gonna get tired, and I'm feeling sad." And
Oh, yeah,
Hermanson just
like,
kind of
just
depressingly,
collapsing.
yeah, like if Hermanson doesn't go away within 7 minutes, I think Weidman's fucked. But I think there's a good chance Weidman wins the first few minutes. So my player would probably like wait for Hermanson. Like I think Hermanson will have a clear pivot,
Yeah.
and once Hermanson hits the clear pivot, just hammer him. And there's a good chance he's losing enough time prior to the pivot that either he gets finished, to which point, all right, you saved your money, or he hits like plus 200 live.
T 2 things that I don't like about Weidman is when he's on the mat, like, even though it was a Rockhold, but I do think, like, and Rockhold's top game is
Yeah,
incredible. But I do th I do think if Hermanson somehow ends up on top, random shit, you know, like, I think it's possible that they could end up there, like, even if he just drops Weidman. Um, I don't like Weidman in a spot like that because Hermanson, like, really good hips and shit, and
yeah,
like, even what he did to, like, Mearshart and others, like, he's pretty good there, and also, like, Weidman is kinda just, like, low volume too, on the
yeah.
feet at times, so, yeah, that's kinda, like, the way I see that fight, like, Weidman
Actually,
still has an elite skill set, that's the thing, so it's always, like, attractive to, like, think about his chances of winning a fight, but he also just is a front runner and just falls apart.
you know what fight this is will essentially be a replay of? This will just be Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira too. Where
I
like
could see it, I could see that, yeah.
Matt's just doing a lot more. Weidman kind of has a shot in the first round, kind of takes over by default.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I think yeah, like Weidman probably wins 10 minutes odd and has a decent chance of finding an arm triangle or something because Manson will do
Yeah.
stupid shit off his back. Didn't Talos Lattes almost sub Manson? Like obviously it was a whole rib break
Yeah,
thing, but
see, that's the thing when I watched that fight, like, Latis had so much success, like, with, like,
there
top
was that
position.
weird injury thing though.
He hurt didn't he hurt his knee, like, on a takedown
Oh,
or something, and then he
rib
came
or
back
knee or
and
something. I remember watching it live and I was just like, what the fuck's happening here? And then Lizez collapses and gives him the finish.
So Hermanson just kind of I think it was on a takedown, like by Latus and Hermanson. I think it was like a lower extremity injury. I could be wrong here, but
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was off like some type of grappling exchange. And he was wincing in pain and like lost the rest of the round. And then all of a sudden he just like got top position the next round and finished Tyler Latus. But that's the thing. Like Weidman still has a really good wrestling game. I mean, look what he did to Gastelum.
Yeah.
So he still has like an elite skill set as far as like a grappler, but it's like everything else is kind of awful.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like old, and I don't really trust his durability either.
Even though his striking's okay as long as he's going forward. Like
Yeah,
Weidman's entire skill set, as long as Weidman's going forward, he's fine.
yeah.
But he just doesn't know. And Hermansson's just because Hermansson will try doing things, Hermansson will eventually come forward.
It's just
Like,
one of
you know,
those things with like Weidman. I feel like he's almost like Sarah McMahon in a way, where like, I feel like if he wins, he fucks you up. Like he
yeah.
just like murders you. And if he loses, you either murder him or he's winning the entire time and then he just collapses and dies. That's
Yeah,
pretty much a Weidman. Yeah.
that's pretty much my call for this. I feel like Weidman looks good for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And either gets, like Hermansson keeps going for really stupid sweeps or something. Then he finally hits one. And the
Yeah.
soul just falls down from Weidman's body.
Weidman's gonna be winning. He's gonna go for a spin kick, and then he's gonna get his back taken, and he's gonna get back mounted, and he's gonna get pounded out.
Yeah. Or
For
just
some
like,
reason, I think Hermansson's gonna win by ground and pound, just like just Weidman. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's gonna be something fucking stupid's gonna happen in this fight.
Weidman's going to have comfortable top control for 10 minutes. Hermansson's going to be going for rolling for heel hook shit. Hermansson will somehow sweep him off a heel hook.
Yeah.
And then just TKO him in 10 seconds. And like the lines will just suspend and you'll be like, I can hedge off. And no, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I want nothing to do with this fight. The more I think about it, like it's gonna be one of those fights where after you're gonna be like, well, if fighter A didn't do this, then I would have won. You're just gonna be like pissed off and yelling.
I just know I just feel like if you bet on Weidman, you're gonna feel like you had the value side, but you won't have had this value side.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
I think if Weidman just literally just took him down, ciphered the side control, and got an arm triangle within 3 minutes, I would not be shocked.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, if Hermansson just like got taken down, because Hermansson doesn't have takedown defense. Like, because Hermansson just has no defense in any phase. It's him against Cannonier, I was just like, I don't think he's going to be able to hold Cannonier down, and Cannonier hits a lot harder than him.
Yeah, you were all over that fight. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, when you look more at Cannonier, other than just like randomly getting knocked out by Reyes and like in exchange,
Yeah.
no one can outstrike him. Like
Yeah.
good fighters, they're like petrified. Like Kudalapa and who's the other? Like Jan, even.
Yeah. He hits him, Glover too, from memory. And Glover Cannonier was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Glover just was like going for takedowns all the time.
Yeah, just like he hits insanely hard. He's very athletic,
He
and
everyone. Yeah.
his team's like kind of built in like a sufficiently basic but effective. Like it's basic, but it works because he's so freakishly powerful.
Yeah.
So he's not making big mistakes on the feet for the most part.
Yeah.
And like just like if you're that powerful, if you just work a decent, immediate, moderate tempo, you're willing to go for leg kicks, and you don't make stupid mistakes, you're going to win fights just because people can't deal with it. Like I do rate Cannonier pretty highly. I do like his game. I think he struggles to beat. Like Cannonier could beat Costa. Like if Cannonier somehow ends up in the title fight, it's just traded and it's given like plus 200, plus 300, I'll slap inside with those guys.
Well, I just think Cannonier's like a pretty tough out, and he's kind of developing like a get up game too.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe he'll pull Darren Stewart and just like do something stupid, and his get ups will look awful randomly against someone later. But
Yeah.
For some reason, I think Hermansson's going to win this fight. But I just feel like Weidman's going to just like slip on a banana peel and get ground and pounded out.
Hermanson will be available in live betting for plus 300 at some point.
Uh,
I just can't see why you'd enter Hermanson. Why pre-bet Hermanson?
Yeah, one fight that I just like don't, other than it being heavyweight, I and like shit can happen. I like do not see how Olenek can beat Verdum. It's like Olenek's like main way of winning fights is like obscure exotic subs, and he's not subbing Verdum. You know? So it's like, what does he do? Like he just has to win like a heavyweight KO, I guess.
Yeah, Wadoom. I played Wadoom minus 200 for quite a bit. Like I just unloaded on it. It's just like, how does it coherently?
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
would be fucking funny if Wadoom got though.
If what?
If Wadoom got Ezekiel'd, I would enjoy it though. I think it'd be hilarious.
It's
not
like,
going to.
yeah.
It's not going to happen. If he did, imagine him. Just wouldn't you enjoy that?
Oh yeah. It's one of those fights where it's like it's almost like Burns Maya, where I'm like, well, Maya getting a sub is pretty much just not gonna happen. So I guess he has to win like a position, which I it could happen. You know, like Maya is like a pretty good like positional grappler, like actually very good. But he also wins a lot of that with jiu-jitsu concepts. So and like Burns can stop that. But with like Olenek Verdum, it's like I don't even think Olenek can win a positional game really. Like I guess maybe, but he's not subbing Verdum. It
Yeah.
it's very like there's I mean MMA is very predictable. One thing that like I rarely ever get wrong is when I'm like really confident someone can't sub another person.
Yeah.
Um you can't always just like fluke sub. You can't like fluke subs like you can a KO against someone who's a way better grappler than you. Like I think Verdum will sub him actually if someone gets a sub. But yeah, like
And
Verdum's a better striker definitely.
Yeah, so Wadoom's better striker, probably more durable. Is a better grappler. They're both fucking old, but Wadoom is younger. I think Olenek essentially needs to sort of meme swingy KO him, and that's like a 10 to 1.
Yeah. It's like it can happen, but it would just be like a low percentage occurrence, you know.
Pretty much, and like the best scenario here would be like club sub Ezekiel. Like I'd lose money, but it'd be funny enough. I'd be okay with it.
It would be hilarious.
Like sometimes I'm okay losing money just to get hilarious outcomes. Like Chris Weidman versus Manson. Like I know I was gonna hit Weidman, but I know I'd lose money and I get hilarious outcome.
Yeah, the thing about like Olenek is he's also it's not like he's subbing great grapplers. Like he's sub Maurice Green, Mark Hunt,
Yeah.
Junior Albini, Travis Brown. Like these aren't grapplers. Like Verdum is a better submission grappler than him for sure. And like whenever you kind of saw like Overeem on the mat with him, and like Overeem sees it, like he's not as good of a grappler as Verdum, but he's like very seasoned down there. And him just like he has skills on the mat as far as like submission defense, stifling. And like you saw like he was totally fine. like in the grappling.
If you gave me a submission underground match tomorrow, I'd take Overeem over Olenek pretty comfortably.
In a submission, yeah, or
in
like
pure grappling.
Yeah. He probably wouldn't get a sub, but I see what you mean.
Athletically, I just think so Overeem is significantly bigger and will not get junk subbed.
Yeah, it would depend on the rules, but he would probably just win on points. Yeah. I don't see how Olenek can win. He's just kind of like checkmated, you know.
Lil Nog versus Shogun. Past 250 is kind of dumb, in my opinion. I go 50-50 at worst.
Oh yeah, like I mean, this is a classic. This is a classic fight where I stay away and then you play the underdog.
You just steer into chaos.
I agree. Like if you were to play it, you'd have. There's no way you can lay minus 320 on Shogun here, especially like after that Craig fight, where I felt like Shogun like didn't look that bad until like that fight. He looked really bad.
Yeah, that was so upsetting.
Yeah, he looked like, I mean, he's definitely like aged, but that fight was like a different tier of looking old. I feel.
Yeah, like Craig was beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah, it was
And
fucking
like
insane.
he won that because Craig essentially running guard pulled him twice. No, he didn't
Well, it
win that.
ended up
True.
being a draw, even though I
Yeah.
thought Shogun actually was going to get both rounds, but it was like kind of off, like lucky circumstances.
I remember I played the over pretty hard, and I played the Shogun decision with like plus 500.
Yeah,
I was traumatized by that result.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, what happens?
It's just like fuck it. Like if you're gonna play it, play the underdog.
And even
Jan,
like Lil Nog getting knocked out by spam wasn't that bad the result in my book either.
no, like I thought it was just kind of like whatever,
Yeah,
Jan
like
and
he got caught.
Mirage,
Jan Mirage.
I think Jan smashes him over
Yeah,
5
same.
rounds. Yeah,
Pretty much. I think Mirage kind of need to get the KO.
yeah,
And
agreed.
yeah, but I could see Jan out to minus 300. It wouldn't bother me too much. I wouldn't take him past there, but like, yeah, he should win this.
Yeah, he's
Like,
legit.
it'll be a striking match, and Mirage is capable of just stopping people, so I wouldn't want to take it much further.
Yeah, I just feel like Jan has the cardio and just kind of like output edge. I feel like Maurice will honestly, Maurice will probably like maybe even win the first round, and then after that, I
Yeah,
think it's just going to be like kind of one way traffic for the most part. But who knows? Probably needs a KO.
most likely.
But
And also, yeah, maybe Jan, like even then, like Jan losing essentially the Rivera fight for the most part was a bit concerning to me too.
yeah, for sure. That was definitely. It's funny because like Jan has pretty much like murdered everyone else, but Rivera looked really
Rivera is
good.
very good though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rivera's awesome.
Yeah, if only he actually got to fight. Actually, I suppose Marlon Vera would have killed him. Like Marlon Vera would have done it. Would have just pulled like some magical finish out of his ass. Rivera would have just shit on him for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but I think that's like most of the fight. I think there's like future events, but I don't even know when or if they're gonna happen. So I'm not gonna like go on
Yeah.
those. But I don't know. Is there any like fight you're just kind of we can kind of like talk like 10 minutes? Like, are there any fights in the future you're kind of hoping get scheduled from like a betting perspective that you're like interested in, or I don't know.
Scheduled. I don't know. Try to think for Masvidal, Usman. I think obviously we both think Usman takes it pretty easily. Like Usman minus 250 in the futures markets moment, which I think is almost playable.
Yeah,
Because like Masvidal can't need to knock him out. Masvidal's not a bigger like historical knockout threat.
Usman seems like really durable too.
McGregor Gagey. I'll play Dog Gagey if that comes about.
See, I think McGregor is gonna win that fight
I
personally.
just think he's got the 7 minute. He's minus from McGregor. He's got a 7 minute window to win that fight. Then it's like Michael Johnson kind of deal. Where like I'm sure McGregor will have a good first round, but unless you're confident he gets a knockout,
True.
and again, I don't think McGregor's got that. I don't think McGregor is that powerful at lightweight. Like
I
knocking
I don't
outs are
like
only in
Gaethje's
5 seconds.
chin though, like that much.
Oh, true. Even like Alvarez took a fucking beating. Poirier took a fucking beat. I just feel Gagey will get McGregor to play his stupid games, and that's definitely gonna be a 5 rounder as well.
I do think McGregor is gonna fuck him up early though. Like
Yeah, true.
Gaethje's like very hittable, and
So is
like
Diaz.
Connor's definitely like the better like ratio striker in the first 10. Yeah, like I feel like I honestly, if it's closely aligned, I'll probably play McGregor and then just fight because I
Yeah,
feel like there'd be an opportunity to hedge off. That's probably what I would do. Like I think McGregor's really gonna fuck him up. Like, dude, I don't know. I'm not as high on Gaethje as other people are. I just even that like Eddie Alvarez, I don't know. He kind of just like one shot KO'd Edson and Cerrone. I don't think he can really
yeah.
And Vic, I don't think he can. McGregor, say what you want about him, I think McGregor's good, but I do think he has like areas, but he is like very tough and like he's got a good chin. Um, and I don't know, like just watching that Eddie fight, like dude, Eddie like really fucked him up in certain spots, and so I don't know. I like Gaethje's just going to have to gas him out and then probably put him away at some point, but I don't know. I think he's going to take a lot of damage in the process, but it's still like a high variance striking fight too, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I understand that logic. It's just what's the I just feel like Gaethje eventually gets Conor to go into his game. I'm not confident in Conor's hitting it lightweight. I just feel like his power is a bit overrated.
Yeah.
And again, like Nate Diaz did go to war with him twice. That's embarrassing. Like he couldn't figure out a solution to Nate Diaz either time.
That's
Like
true.
even the second one, he did win it, but still, it's Nate Diaz. Come on.
Nate does have like the thing about Nate though is he's like the one really, really bad fighter that just like uniquely matches up well to Connor. Where like I think I'm not saying he's really, really bad, but he's like not he shouldn't be competing with like lightweight champs in the modern era, you know? And I feel like it's just one of those guys he can take a beating and even when he's taking a beating, he's making you work. And then he can kind of just like come on strong with good cardio. And I just feel like yeah, that's kinda like what can give Connor issues type of thing. Where, like, Eddie Alvarez is, like, a pretty decent lightweight, you know, pretty good lightweight, and Connor kind of embarrassed him. Just it's like Connor's capable of beating good lightweights. It's just uniquely that's
I
like a
just think
weird yeah.
Alvarez was compromised from like minute from like 30 seconds into that fight, and just kind of never got his space together, I guess. And I think Connor historically has really struggled with leg kicks. Yeah, or the fights haven't really been long enough for him to really struggle with them, but he's been very open to. So I could just see I could just see a Gaethje or Poirier sort of deal where it just ends up being a complete slog, and Connor's leg just slowly goes, and just just
Yeah, like,
carnage.
I've never really seen him against, like, leg kicks all that much. The thing, so that could be an issue. The thing with, like, Eddie, though, is he really struggles with, like, quick straight punchers. Like,
Yeah,
Poirier's the quicker, straighter puncher than Alvarez, and
yeah,
he was tagging him at distance at will, and I just feel like Connor and Poirier will just, like, always have that advantage over Alvarez, you know?
yeah,
Where, I played Connor in that fight, and I just kinda thought Connor was the better straight puncher, I don't know.
yeah.
Um, I've
Makes
I've
sense.
been less I haven't been as like, I like Alvarez, and I think he's, like, a good fighter, but I haven't been as high on him as other people, I guess, you know? Like, I think
Yeah,
he's fine, but, I don't think he's, like, elite, elite. Like, I think his title run was kind of, like, random, you know?
yeah. I think he's always kind of been that sort of like top five adjacent. He's like kind of a best thing sort of situation where he was always pretty good. He kind of stars aligned enough to get him the title win because like the RDA win was kind of whatever.
It's like he beat Anthony Pettis, who always I've never been an Anthony Pettis fan. Like, his
Yeah,
like, I just don't think he's ever I think he, like, has some finishing ability, but I just have never thought he's that good. And it's like he kind of, like, beat him, and then I don't know, that he just, like, randomly memed RDA. He got, like, by Cerrone, not murdered, but he kinda got, like, beat clearly by Cerrone right before that. I don't know.
and even with Pettis, it was like a very very controversial split decision from memory.
Yeah, like, it was a really close fight. Um,
And like the Gilbert win kind of looks meh in hindsight.
I think the best win like, because the RDA win, I thought it was just kinda me, you know? I thought his best win was Gaethje because he really earned that win, for sure.
Yeah, I think he matched up particularly well into Gaethje because he could counter wrestle and he just has a very good sort of counter brawling style.
Yeah, and he kept going to the body too. Like, he would, like, throw a bunch of counter hooks to the body. He really, like, fucked him up in that 3rd round.
Yeah,
Again,
Um,
I don't think you can just say, "Oh, Conor beat Alvarez, beats Gagey," so there's sort of a
oh no,
natural.
no, no. I'm not.
I think
I'm
Alvarez matches up a
saying.
bit better into what Gagey does.
I'm not saying I'm not using like MMA. Just do think like I mean, if you look at fucking Gaethje's fight metric numbers, it's literally retarded. Like he just like let's pull him up. Like fight metric breaks when you fucking pull him up. And I know he lands a lot, but he just gets too he gets hit too often for my liking, you know?
Yeah.
Um I think he like holds the record for the most strikes per minute and absorbed in
Yep.
lightweight history. He lands
Yep.
8.57 and absorbs 9.67. And I just like I feel like in a firefight like that, I mean, obviously, like he you know, there's a chance he has the better cardio and can pull away. But I do think in a firefight like that, I think durability is very important, and I trust Connor's durability more and just like his defense more too, you know? Like
Yeah.
his just like striking savviness. Like I think he's a little faster with his punches too. Um, but like I mean,
Yeah.
it's stupid enough to where Gaethje can like win too. You know,
Yeah. And I could see it just being like Connor's got the upside of kind of just knocking him out in the first like 5 minutes,
for sure.
but in this, I'm trying to figure out, like, Connor's got the upside of just knocking him out in 5 minutes, and then, like, if it goes to deep, it'll probably just end up being a 50-50. So Connor favourite kind of makes sense in that respect.
Yeah,
Which is like,
that's
yeah, the
kind of
best case scenario for Gage is still kind of 50-50, just mess.
yeah. People love Gaethje right now. Like I wonder what will happen with this line. What is it? -170 Connor. It's closer in other books.
Yeah, I just saw that new line opening up, and I was just like a bit, yeah, I'm not. I guess, I guess also, Connor's always gonna get the push of money.
Yeah, it's still like it's. I mean, I feel like this isn't really my fight to play. Like a hot, like I think it's kind of high variance striking, so I'm probably not going to touch it. But um, honestly, like untracked, I'd probably play Connor if it's close, and then just if I get uncomfortable, you know, like because I do think he's the better fighter early, but who the fuck knows? But I, why the fuck is there a Nunez cyborg?
What? Oh, I think people always
Oh,
float that.
that's from like a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, if they've got remade, which I don't think it would.
Yeah, it's always a fight. Like I that was the that was one of the stupid. That's like right up there with I don't know the Tim and Gugabe official stupidest moments of UFC history. It's definitely like number one is the Cormier Stipe body shots for sure, and then I think this is like right there where Cyborg just said, "Fuck this!" Like I'm going to walk forward with no defense randomly, even though I'm fully capable of fighting like a, you know, a skillful striking fight, and just get absolutely teed off on. Like that was so stupid. Like I don't get why she did that.
Uh, yeah, so I think she probably just felt she could win that fight, and then learned she opened up the only possible way she loses that fight.
Which
I
she
think,
can do that to almost any other girl. Like, it,
yeah,
like suffer zero consequences. Like you can run forward against like Yana Kunitskaya and you'll be perfectly fine and you'll just kill her. Or you can't really do that versus Nunez because um, Nunez can actually hit pretty hard.
yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I think I'm getting dragged by the vagaries of life. So
All right, yeah, we'll go. I don't even know what the fuck we've been talking about for the last hour. So
I you can figure out a title to give this.
I don't fucking know. Who knows? We'll call it I'll think about it. I'll think about it off air. But yeah, we'll maybe we'll do another one in like the next 2 weeks if we're fucking bored. And if anyone has any topic to talk about, comment below.
Say we'll be doing these live, and you have to listen a mandatory live Gugabe extravaganzas.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you.
All right.
Take care of yourself and everyone take care of Yourself, all the
Themselves.
listeners too.
Yep. All right. Be good.
Bye.
Gotcha.